All right, here we go. Hello again, travelers. It's time for another Palia update. But this isn't just any old update. This is the first introduction of a new NPC, new huntable creature, and flow tree groves, which are now in the world. Next to actually opening up another temple or vault, this is the biggest content update yet. In my previous update videos, I basically just highlighted what the patch notes said, and while there's nothing wrong with that, I decided to try something different this time. This video was posted late in the day because I actually played the update before making this, so I could give you useful information alongside the patch notes without spoiling any new story. The flow tree groves have started appearing in Bahari, and according to lore, that's what brought the Muujin out. Flow tree groves are pretty much what you'd expect. A lot of flow in one area. But there's another reason these are so cool, and it ties into the Muujin. Muujin have 3 tree types, much like the other huntable creatures Sernuk and Chappa. But where the Sernuk and Chappa are just out there in the world, to obtain the other types of Muujins, you have to chase them into a flow tree. Muujins, when they're scared, go and run up trees. So when you're chopping down trees, a Muujin might appear that you didn't even know was there. Much like Sernuks, Muujin don't disappear when they're scared, they just start going about their regular lives again. So no, Muujin are not duplicating. It just so happens that one was already in a tree that you chased a new one up. And chasing them up regular trees does not cause them to level up. Only flow trees cause this level up. So you're going to have to work together with some friends or put in a lot of time to get this working. I tried to do this on my own today, and the Muujin basically ignored the flow tree entirely. So I'm a little frustrated with this mechanic already, and I hope that it's easier later on and that they take the feedback that we give as we play the game. Maybe I just had bad luck, but it was really frustrating to have one Muujin that I chased around for 5 minutes ignore a flow tree that was right in front of it 3 times. There's an indicator for when a flow tree grove spawns. It's a magical sort of sound and whoosh that happens when you're in Bahari, and it's important to note that there can only be 2 flow tree groves up at any time. The grove will stay active until all trees within it are cut down. Muujin can be found in regular, banded, and blue bristle form, and drop the associated manes, which is a new resource added alongside Muujin meat. Before I get into details on the new NPC, Subira, or Sibra, depending on how you want to pronounce her name, here's a quick list of the minor details of this patch. Characters can now interact with chairs and various furniture to sit in them. There are 4 new cooking recipes added to the game and can be unlocked via Subira's storyline. 20 new wallpapers have been added that correlate to a respective villager and their personality. Each wallpaper is obtained by gifting that NPC for the first time. The patch notes said that you wouldn't get the wallpapers retroactively, and maybe this is actually a glitch, but when you first log into the game after patching, you're going to have every single NPC you've ever given a gift to arrive on your plot and give you the wallpaper. Apparently this wasn't supposed to happen, but you've basically got a parade of friends until they fix that. The only reason I'm mentioning this is because you'll want to make sure you talk to these NPCs, because until you get to Eshe, you can't actually start the new quest line for Subira. They've implemented a sensitivity slider for hunting controls. Star quality ruined food can be placed as decor now, and they've also hinted at the fact that they're working towards making other star quality things like the fisherman's brew and jams be able to be placeable as well, but we didn't get a date or a time for when that might happen. And the workbench will automatically scroll to the last crafted recipe you made. So if you crafted a bench and then you accidentally were like, oh, I need another one, it'll go right back to the last thing you crafted, which is pretty helpful actually. Now, Subira is a really cool character, and without any spoilers, or at least big ones, here's what you need to know both in lore and gameplay. Subira is a member of the Order, an organization that studies and monitors the use of flow. According to rumors, she's arrived in Kilima due to the massive flow tree spawns occurring in Bahari Bay, aka flow tree groves, and the corresponding animals that moved south due to those trees. She'll be staying in the inn, but there is a secret area related to the new quest line you can find. Sabira also brings along a new order-themed furniture set, very similar in theme to her carriage, which you'll also obtain through the quest line. The furniture, not the carriage, sorry. Sabira's quest is actually an incomplete one, and not exactly locked to her. S6 stated that the quest, A Set Time, will eventually conclude. It sounds like this is the first quest where you need to wait for a new character or other parts of Palia's story to release before it will actually be done. And Sabira is not a permanent resident. S6 wants the world to very much feel alive and changing, just like the real world out here. So, Sabira is in fact a visitor. This is probably why she isn't romanceable, at least not yet. So, what does that mean for her achievements and rewards? S6 made it very clear that all rewards obtainable with this or any related quest will still be obtainable through evergreen methods. And they'll let us know well ahead of time of any patch that will affect Sabira being in Kilima or new characters arriving that could mess with this quest line. You'll have to finish the Prove Your Devotion, Prove Your Purpose, and Prove Your Generosity quest before being able to start the new one brought by Sabira's arrival, which most of us should have done unless you're a brand new player. That quest line is given through Eshe, so you'll get there eventually if you just continue through the main quest line. Moving on with other news, Starstones got a little bit of a nerf. Higher value stones were too high for how easy they were to obtain. Rather than adjusting the drop rate, which means you wouldn't have them as often to use for gifts, the teams decided to lower the value. So the ruby is now 4,000, down from 8,000. The amethyst went from 3,000 to 2,000, and the sapphire went from 2,000 to 1,500. I know there's going to be backlash on this, but before you get upset, I'll note that one of the new recipes was coined as potentially having a cake party-like experience. So I feel like I'm okay with this particular currency balancing, but that's just me. Next is the premium store. Usually this is the part where I'm sure most people tune out, but they have introduced glider skins. And while I'd much rather we get more pets or pet-related things, I'm still stoked to see more options to support the game that we all get for free. Literally for free, no cost. Along with the gliders are 3 new premium outfits. None as flashy as the past, but in my opinion, 2 of them being more masculine focused was seriously needed. And last but not least, snow. The devs hinted that snow was around the corner with the disappearance of the mysterious pumpkin merchant and to keep our eyes peeled for the next dev update. So I'll make a video on that for y'all, don't worry about it. I have a feeling that it's not going to actually snow. There might be snow on the ground, but I don't think we're getting weather just yet. Well, that's all for now. I'll be posting my playthrough of A Set Time questline since I'll be avoiding playing it live on Twitch, so no one gets spoiled unless they choose to be spoiled. So make sure to subscribe to check that out, or at the very least, like the video if you found it helpful, or maybe just neat. Thanks for watching, and most importantly, have a very magical day.